Mississippi, I want to bring up Miss Michelle McKay.
Well, thank y'all for listening. I just met Todd and Ashley Thursday night. And so they just told me Thursday night that I was speaking. And I'm so shy. I know that they're very concerned that I will have a problem with that. But when Brent talked about pivoting, Cynthia and I have known each other for 18 years, and we've always wanted to work together. But I was in another company. Well, let me back it up. Since I'm a nurse, let me just tell you a little bit about my nursing career. I was a NICU nurse, and then I went from NICU to cancer care to hospice care, okay? And you go, my gosh, how did you make those transitions? But look at what I dealt with in the NICU, in cancer care, and hospice care. I dealt with a lot of death. And so I might get a little teary on you. I dealt with my own mother's death. And I was starting my hospice when my own mother was on hospice. So you talk about learning from a personal experience. So on her deathbed, I said, Mom, she was diagnosed with Alzheimer's at 55 and died at 62. I was 39 years old. And nobody wants to lose their mom ever, but at 39, I didn't think I was going to lose my mom. I thought I was going to pray that she was going to be healed. So on her deathbed, I said, Mom, before I leave this world, I'm going to find a cure for Alzheimer's. But guess what I found? I found a prevention. So today, now what I found, instead of dealing with all the death that I've dealt with for so long, I found a way to give people life. And the whole time in hospice, when I was working 12 years in hospice, and I was an owner, yeah, but I was a working owner. A lot of owners, y'all know a lot of owners that don't work. I was a nurse, I was a working owner. I was a NICU nurse. So a lot of people say, well, what do you know about hospice? Or what do you know about death? And I said, I know a lot about death that you don't know, because I know that I took care of my own mother on hospice. And with the way I built my hospice was I went to every physician that I served and I said, I don't know a thing about hospice business financially or about how to do that. But I took care of my own mother on hospice. I do know how to run a business successfully, and I will take care of every one of your patients like I took care of my mother and like I wanted her taken care of. So you go, probably, how did death teach you how to give more people life? Well, it taught you a lot, because when you see people on their deathbed, especially your mother, when I'm 39 years old, my babies are 4 and 2. They're never going to get to know my hero, ever. So my pivot is, I want you to know your grandmother. I want you to know your mother. I want you to know your family. So let's make you healthy. Let's give you life. And one more thing that Todd asked me to talk about, I wasn't sure if I would, but when Cynthia came to me, I had, well, this is part of the Alzheimer's story. I had brain fog. I had brain fog to the nth degree. And I'm in my prime, as Ashley said. Thank you, you gave me the term. Because my brand for the last 3 years is I teach menopause women how to get past menopause and get past all their symptoms. And I hated that word. I hated that word. And I wasn't sure why, other than the fact that I think menopause just means you're aging. But guess what? My mom died at 62. I just turned 60 this year. I am celebrating because my mother didn't know who she was at 60, and I know who I am at 60, okay? So I was in another company for 14 years, and I was considered a top leader. And I have a lot of friends here that are in my same company. And Cynthia knew when I started with Renew, because my brain fog was gone in 3 days. When I started on Renew and that brain fog was gone, I knew I was going to tell everybody I knew. I knew everybody would know about it. But when I met with Cynthia and Andrea and Brent, I said, I may never work this business because I love this business that I'm in. I'm loyal. I've been with them for 14 years. I've made it to pretty much the top. So I'm not sure I'll ever, work with y'all, but I'll share it with everybody I know. And then when we started the Skinny Drop 6 months later, it's a funny story. After Cynthia got taken, my brain fog was taken care of. and I got fit. I'm a competitive tennis player. Some people say I'm a professional tennis player. I'm not. But they may think I am because I play every day. But I had gotten fit with Renew. And Cynthia said, Michelle, I think we need to start these skinny drops. I said, Cynthia, I've gotten so fit. Are you telling me I'm fat? Are you telling me I need to lose weight? She said, no, girl, you always talk about your hormones. You're always teaching women about their hormones. Let's get on them for the hormone balance. And so I said, okay, I'll do that. So my husband had a pretty big belly. I didn't think I had a whole lot of weight to lose, but within about about 6 weeks, my husband had lost 18 pounds and 7 inches. And Cynthia called me one day, and I'd been posting a little bit about him. Didn't post that much. I didn't do the system of growth because of my other company. And I was going to honor that and not dishonor that. So I was posting about him and posting about my clients, their results and their amazing testimonies and what have you. So Cynthia called me one day. She said, I'm a hold. I know you took your measurements while you were taking his. Tell me, go add them up. And I didn't because they weren't that much. But I added them all up, and she heard me scream, I think, or that she did. And I had lost 5 inches around my belly and around my thighs. And any of you women in here in your prime, how many times, Kristen, have you worked out and worked out and worked out and worked out, and you can never lose it there? Okay, so I had a story to tell because for years had never been able to lose it in those areas. So then I've been sharing more and more because of that. And so I became a believer and knew that I was going to help women with hormone balance, but also all of those women that had belly fat in places that they wanted to lose and never could. So in terms of a pivot, I have pivoted. I will always be loyal to my first company. I will always be appreciative of what they did for us and what I learned, and I will be supportive of my team, and I will stay right there as long as they will have me. But I will tell everybody in my breath and then my listening power that if you are faced with death or have been faced with death in your life, I want to give you life. And so that's my thing. Who do I need to do?
All right. Thank you, Michelle McKay. Okay, so we're going to move in a location where the hormone balancing skinny drops came from. Okay. And the pivot for me